Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named HoodieX in the Off My Chest subreddit. The post is titled, 2 weeks before my wedding, my best friend confessed that the reason why me and my fiance got together is because they made a bet. The prize was to be my fiance dating her. I do not know what to do. I have been sleepless for days because of this. I need to get this all off my chest or my heart might explode. My wedding is on the 19th and my bachelorette party was last Saturday. It was organized by my best friend Lucy. I partied with my bridesmaids, had some shots, and they were so excited for me to be marrying the love of my life, Erwin. We have been together for 3 years. After the party, everyone was wasted and went home, leaving Lucy and me in the Airbnb. I was not that drunk, at most tipsy, so I helped her clean up since I was staying the night with her too. While we were cleaning, she was silent, which is very unlike her. She was very active during the party, so I thought she was just tired and told her I could finish up and she could rest. So she went to the bedroom. While I was finishing the dishes, she returned to the kitchen. She told me that she needed to tell me something, so I stopped what I was doing. Then she said she was sorry. She did not expect that Erwin would ask me to marry him because it was a bet gone wrong. I was confused and asked her to elaborate. What she basically told me is that when I first introduced them to each other, she and Erwin had a bet that if he could get me to marry him, she would exclusively date him. Apparently, they have been secretly dating since before I met Erwin. Their relationship was toxic, so they have these constant breaks, but on this particular break, she allowed him to date anyone. That is when Erwin and I met. When I asked her why she was only telling me this now, she said that she felt guilty. She did not want to hurt me, but she did not want to take full accountability and acknowledged Erwin's part in this. She was trying to convince Erwin to come clean together, but he refused and told her the bet was long gone because he was genuinely in love with me already. When I asked her if she still has feelings for Erwin, she answered yes, and she realized how good of a man Erwin is now. When I asked if Erwin knows how she feels about him, she answered no, but if I allow her, she will confess her feelings for him. At that point, I just left. I had no energy left, even if I wanted to slap her at that moment. I feel so played, betrayed, and humiliated. The two closest people in my life made me a pawn in their sick games. I do not know what to do or where to start. I am so confused. It has been 3 days and I have not told anyone yet. Not even Erwin, who is in Hong Kong, and not even my parents. Lucy has not tried to contact me and I think she has not said anything yet to Erwin. The wedding is in 2 weeks. How do I face this? Update. A little history of how Erwin and I met. We met at a company event. My company was the host and his was one of our clients. We bonded over the after party and exchanged numbers. Days after, he added me on Facebook. I actually saw that he and Lucy were mutual friends, so I asked him if they knew each other. He answered yes. They met during their internship days, but they were not close. I asked Lucy too, and she confirmed it, so I did not make a big deal of it. We began casually dating, no labels, just seeing where things would go. I knew that he had been seeing someone else at this time, as I had too. But when we admitted to wanting to make things official between us, we broke up with our casual flings. And the rest is history. I appreciate everyone who reached out. Thank you for the kind messages. And it made me realize I should think about my situation logically. So I did. And yes, Erwin and I have already talked. I picked him up from the airport yesterday and told him about Lucy's confessions. He went pale, but he was calm. He told me to ask everything I wanted to know and that he would answer truthfully. I will try to summarize everything here. Did he know that I was Lucy's best friend when we met? No. They did not talk much about their personal lives when they were together, but he knew that Lucy's best friend's name was my name, though when we met, he did not really put the pieces together. How long were they dating before we met? He did not keep count because they were on and off again, but they were casually seeing each other for around 4 months before we met. In his mind that they were never official as they did not label their relationship. He did try to pursue her, but she kept messing with his head. So when she allowed him to date while they were on a break, he thought of it as a way out. Did they really bet on me? Yes, but he did not take it seriously. He also did not initiate it. When did the bet happen? It happened days after I introduced him as a friend to Lucy. He admitted that since we were still not exclusively dating, he still saw Lucy. Lucy initiated the bet, and if he did win, she would know that he was mature enough to seriously date. When did their relationship end? A month or so before we made our relationship official, he had already broken things off with Lucy because he was starting to fall for me. Lucy took it well and did not even bring up the bet. Why, all of a sudden, did Lucy bring up the bet? Lucy started bringing it up after we made our engagement official. He admitted to having forgotten about the bet until she reminded him of it. So when Lucy reached out to come clean, he refused because he did not really think it was serious. Is he aware of Lucy's feelings? No. He genuinely thinks that Lucy is happy for us. Right now, I do not know where to go from here. I believe him, but I just do not like the idea that the foundation of our relationship is from a bet. Whether it was serious or not, it is still not good. Can we rebuild trust from here? I do not know, but I am willing to try. Aside from this issue, Irwin has been a great boyfriend, and I do not want to make harsh decisions about us and regret it in the end. What I do know now is that we need to call off the wedding. He told me that he would understand if I did not want to go on with our wedding anymore, but he asked me to consider our relationship because he loves me and will do anything to regain my trust. I also learned that Lucy actually tried to contact Irwin days after the bachelorette party, but Irwin missed her calls. She is still not reaching out to me, but I do not care anymore. Many of you say that she is sabotaging our relationship, that this is her last-ditch effort to have Irwin by herself, and I think you are right. It just hurts that our 11 years of friendship have to end this way. So there, I think this will also be my last update. Everything from here on will be Irwin's and my decisions. Thank you everyone for listening. Saucy Boy said, Lucy hates OP. I cannot imagine trying to play the shittiest bet imaginable and crushing your supposed friend's heart in the process. She is the kind of person who only wants what or who they cannot have, and with a nasty ego to boot. And how the hell do you not say anything to your girlfriend or fiance about how much her friend sucks and sees her as competition? Only Here for Memes said both of them lied to her. They both said they just kind of knew each other, not that they had been in an on and off relationship for years. OP should dump them both. TikTok Another Day said, even if they were casual on both sides, sleeping with my friend at the same time as me would be seen as a betrayal. I think this was a much bigger deal than the bet. This second post was made in the same subreddit by a user named Adventurous Aside. The post is titled, My fiance's best friend is making my life a living hell. My fiance has the biggest heart. He would literally give you the shirt, pants, and hat off his body if you asked for it. He is a recovering people pleaser, and I get it because I also used to be a people pleaser. We have been together for over 5 years. A few months ago, I started picking up on his best friend making some not so nice comments toward me. I am trying to be vague, but let us just say this friend is the type to read who in the room would be most affected by being picked on, and then he picks and picks and picks on them until they cannot take it anymore. Nobody ever really holds him accountable for this, and unfortunately, I have somehow become his favorite target. I tried to put up with these comments, but it started getting really elaborate. The friend would make up lies about me saying things I never said. He once called me in front of all our friends, my fiance included, just to yell, "You're a bad friend," into the phone and then hang up. There is so much to it that I cannot share because I am trying to be somewhat anonymous. It started having an effect on me and my mental health, and I ended up having a full breakdown where I told my fiance how much this was all starting to hurt me. The first time I broke down over this, he said he would talk to his friend about teasing or messing with me less. He then told me his friend was sorry and that he would be keeping an ear out for any other comments and would jump to my defense if it happened again. A few weeks later, I had a second breakdown over all this. The situation itself is hitting a very specific childhood trauma or trigger for me, and he admitted that his friend did not actually apologize. He actually said he was sorry I was too sensitive to understand his humor. At that point, I told my fiance my friendship with this person is over and I want zero contact from here on out, even if it means I have to miss out on events and parties that I would otherwise love to go to. He agreed with me that all of this is being done with the intention to get a rise out of me, and that even if we tried to get through to this friend, he is so diabolical that we could never fully trust him to not treat me at least a little bit shitty. My fiance kept asking if this meant he had to quit the project they are working on. I told him I would never tell him he had to because I know how much it means to him. But in all honesty, the fact that this person is treating me so poorly that I am having physical stress reactions is not enough for him to want to cut this person off, and that does hurt a lot. The fact that it is not a deal breaker for him is probably always going to sting a little. He is not confrontational at all, and I always knew that, but it is not about confrontation. It is about standing in my corner, and I cannot spend the rest of my life with someone who is not in my corner. This friend is getting married to my best friend in a few months, and we are both supposed to be in the wedding, but I really have no clue how. I get a literal knot in my stomach anytime his name is even mentioned now. I have seen this friend one time since all of this came to a head, and he was so over the top nice to me that it came off as cocky. I had the second breakdown a few days afterward because I realized I am possibly going to spend the rest of my life on edge and on guard anytime this person is even somewhat in my vicinity, even if he is not actively messing with me. I do not know how to come to terms with the fact that my fiance was willing to lie to me on his shitty friend's behalf, but he is not willing to stand in my corner against him. I think it will always hurt. This guy was supposed to be the best man in our wedding, and as a result, we have not been talking much about wedding plans. I think if he is still planning on this friend being in our wedding, I may have to call it off for my own sanity, and that sucks so bad. This is fucking eating me alive. I love my fiance so much. I love his big heart and the way he loves with all of it. But he loves some truly wretched people, and I do not know if he will enforce any boundaries with those people before the lack of boundaries becomes too much for me to handle. I am just hurt and hurting, and I just want whatever outcome to play out so I can stop feeling so guilty and awful all the time. Update. Never thought I would actually update this account out of sheer fucking embarrassment, but I wanted to share this for those who encouraged me to put myself first. I want you all to know my partner absolutely came through and protected me in this. We spent all this time since my last post up until last week communicating and trying to find a resolution and walking through how it got this bad. He took a lot of accountability for that. This is not a case of me giving in. He understands fully that this only got so bad because it has never been handled correctly, and he had a major hand in that. There were so many more layers to this than a Reddit post ever could have conveyed. The bottom line is we are closer than ever, and after a lot of talking, we decided on my partner sending a firm but not unkind message to his friend explaining the behaviors, explaining that they were hurting his partner, and that it needed to stop. He asked to write up the first draft and we could go over it together to try to perfect it. Reddit, please know the first draft my partner wrote was so spot on what I needed to read that it instantly shifted us into us versus the problem mode when we had been stuck butting heads for weeks. He laid everything out so clearly and in ways that we had not discussed, so I know it came from him. We had to tone down a lot of the big emotions. We really truly gave the message its best shot to address the situation without being hostile. We knew the response would be bad no matter what, but I do not think anything could have fucking prepared us. This man went full scorched earth and blew up everything almost immediately. He insulted my partner. He told him these events did not happen the way I claimed they do. He demanded they meet up alone with a mediator. He even threatened to reach out to my partner's parents to fill them in, which is probably the moment we stopped taking his responses seriously. All of us are almost in our 30s. If once was not enough, he threatened it twice. We actually had to call them and warn them that he would be showing up at their place later this week and not to open the door. There is still a good chance he will attempt it. We stayed respectful throughout all of this, which I feel good about. We did not stoop to his level. We did not insult anyone. We asked for basic human respect, and somehow it blew up spectacularly. In the end, we both received a massive wall of text from my now ex-best friend fully backing up her man and telling her side of the story, which is so insanely far off from what actually happened that all I can do is laugh. We have been shifting from crying to being dumbstruck to just straight up laughing because of the absurdity. I went into this thinking she was brainwashed, but it turns out I was wrong. They are a perfect match. I wish them all the best. I am sending them one last message setting the record straight, which my partner and I decided together was the best approach apart from just ghosting, before moving on from this entirely. I am going to make it very clear this is done. Zero contact indefinitely, and I will never look back. My partner and I both deserve way better friends, and we both see that so clearly now. I am so fucking glad I learned my friend's true colors before we dropped $800 on a hotel for their wedding. Thank you to everyone who was kind. Not only did I put myself first in the end, but my partner did too. We are going to take this week in stride and process it all, grieve the friendships we once thought were forever, and at the end of the week, we have a conveniently timed vacation to my partner's family cottage. I think we are going to come out of this stronger because we already feel it. Again, thank you to those who had something productive to say. And I have made my peace with all the rest. I guess if the guy does something else outlandish, maybe I will update, but for now, this chapter is closed and I'm so ready for it to start collecting dust. Update 2. Hey all, I told myself I would not update again, but there has been a pretty massive development. I am not sure if anyone is really that invested in this shit show, but it has actually helped me to type it out the first couple of times, so maybe I will feel a bit better if I do it again. Sorry in advance for how disgustingly long this is going to be. A few weeks ago, the asshole showed his entire hand. He sent my partner a message at 11 a.m. on a Monday, and it is the most unhinged thing I have ever read. I will sum it up for you. The asshole said he believed my partner is in an abusive relationship and he should leave me for his own happiness. He claimed he has evidence to support this. He admitted this was the big message he would have given had they met in person in the very beginning. He also told him he was worried sending the message would make things even worse for my partner if I saw it. He said I am someone he can never forgive and he will never want to associate with ever again. He ended it by saying he hopes he will leave me so my partner can apologize for breaking up the band and they can start to repair their friendship. Obviously, there is a whole lot to digest. I know you all do not know me, but I am obviously not abusing my partner. I should not even have to clarify that, but I will anyways. This guy is 100% excommunicated from our lives indefinitely, not that he already was not at that point. In light of this new information, I would like to share some of the things the asshole has done over the past year or so that made me realize he was messing with me, but I did not notice at the time because, much like some of you, I thought I was just being sensitive. My partner and I joined some pals to play a game together online, Lethal Company, if you are familiar. I have many hours in the game and know the monsters quite well, so I was pretty confused when I was slaughtered by a Bracken 3 game days in a row almost immediately upon entering the facility and splitting from the group. I mentioned at one point that I would be having a lot more fun if I was not dying so quickly every time, and the asshole mockingly said it must be a skill issue. After a few more deaths, this time with me at least getting to explore a bit before getting my neck snapped, I asked if anyone had the Control Company mod installed, which allows the server host to play as the monsters. Suddenly, the asshole had to go and the lobby conveniently disbanded. I never brought my suspicions up to anyone because I knew it would be my word against his and I had no solid proof, so I was not positive. But when I finally mentioned it to my partner a couple of weeks ago after that text was sent, he told me he remembers the asshole staying on the ship and secretly going AFK multiple times in the game, which lines up pretty perfectly with my in-game deaths. When I said the asshole was being too nice the time we saw him after my partner called him about his comments affecting me, I do not think I explained it right. My partner and I were sitting at a table at a local show and the asshole sat next to me, not my partner, and would not stop touching my arm and asking me if I was enjoying the show. Multiple times, he would just stare at me and grin as wide as he could. If I had just been told something I did hurt my friend's partner, I do not think I would be all over them the way this guy was to me. Hell, if it were me, I would at least throw a sorry about the other night their way. It felt like he was gloating that he got away with it. It was comically over the top and made me and my partner very uncomfortable. We talked on the drive home and we both felt the same about it. I was hanging out with my friend at her place and the asshole was there, so we all decided to head to my place and hang with my partner as a foursome. Right before we left, the asshole asked if I knew our mutual friend's big secret. I did not. I am also not very close with this friend. My friend already knew and told him they should just tell me because I would not be that invested, but the asshole told her my partner did not know yet and they could not tell me until we all got to my place and told him. He kept going on about how big the secret was and insisted that I would freak out once I knew. I made a comment about how we were taking different cars and there was a chance my friend would just tell me on the way, so he looked her dead in the face and told her that he would be genuinely upset with her if she told me before he told my partner. We respected that. When we got to my place, it was obvious my partner already knew. The big secret was simply that our friend was dating someone. I found out later that the asshole had called my partner the minute he got to his car and told him that both me and my friend did not know and they should put on a big show of telling both of us together. My partner had known for weeks and the friend group had openly discussed it a few times and it had not come up with me because, as I said, I am not very close with this friend. I got baited. Truly exhausting behavior. My partner had no idea what happened until I told him about the conversation at the asshole's place and my friend did not say a word in my defense. I typed out exactly why this was ridiculous once all this came to a head, and they both refused to even acknowledge it. I dyed my hair blue. My first outing with the new hair was with the whole group. I went all out on my makeup and outfit and was pretty stoked on it. I am not exaggerating in the slightest when I say the asshole made 20+ jokes about my hair in the span of about 15 minutes. It was pretty much every time he interacted with me, which he seemed to go out of his way to do specifically so he could make jokes about my hair. If you have ever had blue hair, then you have probably heard most of the jokes he was making. I laughed along for the first few. I can definitely handle banter as it is a huge part of almost all of my friendships, but after about 20 jokes, I finally said it was getting old and asked if he had anything nice to say. He responded by making another 5 jokes with a big shit-eating grin on his face and implied I was too sensitive. There truly was no off switch with the guy. Anyways, just wanted you all to know I am not crazy. The asshole has literally been trying to drive me mad for at least a year and it almost worked. My partner and I have had many conversations about all this, and I know a lot of people had a lot to say about him, but please know this was eating both of us alive. He wanted to make things work so badly. He wanted to at least try to salvage their 20+ year friendship. But he understands now that was never possible, and he knows neither of us deserves to be treated the way the asshole treated us. This was never just about me. If he was a good friend to my partner, maybe things would be different and we could have tried harder to get through to him. But this is just who he is at his core. He is known for being a prick for no reason and lying about it. And there is no space in either of our lives for that. Anyways, I doubt the asshole can top that message, so this is the last update I will give. My partner and I are coming out of this way stronger. The asshole has completely brainwashed my friend, and I have made my peace with it. She can have him. Godspeed to the both of them. Thanks to all who showed understanding. Hopefully, this is all going to be behind us very soon once the dust fully settles. A deleted user said, I have met guys like this. Everything is a game, including subtly torturing people. It is some kind of hierarchical, chimp tribal nonsense. As soon as another person bares their teeth and the situation starts collapsing, or the main people tell them off, they lose their shit. Then, like in this person's story, they start unraveling. It is weird. Miserable Alarm said, ex-best friend should be aware that once he has driven everyone else off, he will turn on her. No Atmosphere said, as soon as she said it was a band, everything clicked. Anyone who has been in a band knows about that one guy who has a pathological need to control everything and everyone. Music and entertainment attract narcissists. This last post was made in the AIO subreddit by a user named Raccoon Flat. The post is titled, I think my boyfriend is lying to me and is gay with his best friend. We are set to get married soon. We have been together for 3 years. We have great sex. He tells me he loves me, he wants kids, and he tells me it is just a joke and they do this because it's funny. His best friend, we will call him Tyler for the sake of this post, and he talks sexually to each other all the time. I have seen over his shoulder texts saying things like, "I'm gonna pound your ass so hard it's gonna hurt to walk for days after," and I have seen photos of both of them sending pictures of their dicks. I was snooping last night. I know, I should not do that. But Tyler sent my fiance a photo of his boner a couple of days ago, and my fiance said, "Nice dick, bro," and things like, "Too bad I'm not gay or I'd suck that hog." It almost seems like they are joking, but sending actual pictures of their dicks, like multiple times, and both of them hard. Talking like this pretty regularly. OP, please help. We are set to get married soon, and I am worried he is cheating on me with Tyler. Edit. I do not have a problem with him being gay. I have a problem with him cheating on me. I am going to play it cool for a couple of days and just keep an eye on their behavior. Tyler is coming over to hang out this coming Tuesday afternoon, and I might say something to gauge their reactions. Not sure what yet, but something to see if they look at each other weird or something. I do not know. I will update later when I know my plan. I hope this turns out all to be just some big joke between them. Update. Wow, I will start with that. I did not say anything when they were together. I was full of anxiety and all in my head, and I just could not do it. I brought it up this morning before he left for work. I said something to the effect of, "I looked at your phone and I would love to know why you two are sexting with each other. I am not comfortable with it, and we need to talk about this. Are you gay or what?" He literally burst out laughing as I was tearing up asking this. He says this is all a big joke. He says that this whole thing started because they were making fun of homophobes and people who are insecure with their sexuality, and it went from jokes to full-on dick pics. He said they talk about how it is so funny that seeing a dick makes you gay or people find it gross, when in fact it is no different than a picture of an ear or a hand. It is a big inside joke because straight men are not supposed to act like this, and people who think that makes you gay or weird are just insecure and childish. He said that it started with just sending pictures of dicks from the internet and eventually led to them sending their own because of the shock value. I literally do not know what to think about this. I told him to stop it now, and he said he would respect that and not do it anymore. But he also said I need to chill and does not like that. I looked at his phone. I did see him start talking on his phone as he was leaving the driveway, probably bitching about me. In the second update, the boyfriend proceeds to post about his side of the story. I sent this to my soon-to-be wife to post for me. We had a heartfelt and serious discussion about what she has been thinking, and then she told me about her Reddit posts. I will be honest, I have shared these with Tyler and we find this all super hilarious, as does my fiance now that she understands. All three of us hung out a few days ago, talked about it, and shared a good laugh. Conclusion, our senses of humor are much more developed than your average Redditors. A lot of people said gay humor between straight men is normal, but Snapchatting a picture of your hard cock when they are not expecting it is too far and not funny. Get the fuck out. People on these posts are the ones making it sexual, not us. We just find it hilarious because it is unexpected and shocking, and people's reactions when we tell them we do this, like all of yours, are funny as fuck to us. This is not a secret among our group of guy friends, and a handful of other dudes have seen our dicks besides just us too. After my conversation with my fiancé and Tyler, we agreed we would not behave like this anymore if it made her uncomfortable. There is nothing wrong with being gay, and if either of us was gay, we would not have a problem with that or keep it a secret. It is not our fault we have unlocked peak humor, and y'all are projecting your perception of sexuality or insecurities onto the situation. We live in a pretty homophobic world, and I am sure a lot of the men in these threads got bullied and called gay when they were in school growing up. Your fear of people thinking you are gay is not my problem and has nothing to do with my life. It is perfectly okay if you would not send a photo of your cock to one of your friends, but if my bud Tyler wants to hit one of our bros with a dick pic randomly every 6 months when they are least expecting it, and everyone involved just finds it funny, then who gives a fuck? It is not his fault you have a weak sense of humor. If you see a penis and think of it as inherently sexual, that says more about you than it does about us, buddy. To answer a lot of people's questions, no, I would not care if my fiancé sent a picture of her vagina to one of her girlfriends as a joke. Literally would not bother me in the slightest. If it bothers you, that is your issue. I also saw a woman in one of the threads who said she divorced her husband because he wanted to get pegged because that is gay. LOL, so obviously the understanding of sexuality in this community is limited. A man and a woman engaging in a sex act is not gay in any capacity. Homosexuality is when two men engage in sexual or romantic behavior. That is it. Do people send dick pics in a sexual capacity? Obviously. Sometimes it is just funny. Get over it. Sorry you are insecure about people seeing your dick. It is just a penis. It is not gonna hurt you. This is a very weird, backwards Puritan society we live in. After speaking about it with my fiance and Tyler together, she understands it is just a big joke to us, even though it is not her particular sense of humor. She said she does not know if she is okay with it, so we agreed we will not act like that anymore. Boom. Problem solved. She is my soulmate and I love her very much. Everyone telling her to run away or break up with me is a fucking idiot projecting their own shitty relationship experiences onto us. Maybe learn to give advice objectively instead of projecting next time. You do not know us. You do not know the dynamics of my relationship or of my friendships. I appreciate everyone who actually tried to offer her thoughtful, compassionate advice that led to us communicating about this so we could move past it. For the men messaging her on here and flirting, I would like to say you took advantage of her during an emotional time, and she told me about how she played into this and will not do it again. I do not have a Reddit, but my wife will show me this post later tonight, and then we are moving on from all of this bullshit. Goodbye. Vixen Mixon said, "What the fuck did I just read? How is a hard dick not sexual?" Fjordgard said, well, she might not be marrying a gay man, but given how he sounds in his post, she is marrying a douchebag. I do not know, nothing he said is wrong, but the way he said it completely pushed my buttons somehow. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.